Hello everyone, JoeyLovesTrains here, and today we're going to be looking at day 2 of the Lakeshore Limited trip. Start things off, you can see a picture of the boxcar. So this is sped up, 2 times speed. We're going to be taking a walkthrough of the entire consist of the train. Right now we're in the vestibule. You can see that little latch right there. So you can open the windows. You'll see that later in the video. You can see the viewliners have split-way doors. I don't know what to call it, but it's not like the Ampletes, which the door just goes one way. So those are the roomettes, and just before we walk down here, you could see the bedrooms. So here's an Amplete 1. This is the business portion of the cafe car, and then that's the cafe portion of the cafe car. And then there's my dad. So our sleeper car is actually in the front of the train, and the lounge car, which is where we're going, is in the back of the train. So that kind of sucks. So if you didn't know already, this train is actually like, I don't know, 11 cars long. It's a pretty long train because we have the Boston section and the Penn Station, or the New York section of the train. Then I believe now we're in the New York section of the train. Could be wrong there, but I believe, yeah, this is the New York section. Then you'll see up here, nope, not this part. You can see, I don't want to say it's a crowded train, but there's certainly a fair amount of people. Although what's kind of odd is one of the cars is a little bit empty. You'll see that in a few seconds. Yeah, you can see it. It's pretty cold out, but it's only when we're walking down that it's that cold. And the New York section actually has 2 sleeper cars and a baggage car. So yeah, this is the car that didn't have any people in it. A little confusing. It's an Amfleet 2. We have the cafe car is an Amfleet 1. Then here's the lounge car, which is a Viewliner 2 in Phase 3 paint scheme. I do like this brown wooden look. It gives you a nice warm and cozy feeling. If you were in there, you could see the windows were also sort of tinted like brown. It was really nice and pretty. So this is actually a Viewliner 2 bedroom, or a Viewliner 2 sleeper car, which is pretty rare nowadays. And I've never actually seen one. I've never actually seen a Viewliner 2 lounge car. So that Viewliner 2 sleeper car was actually also in Phase 3. And this one is in Phase 4 because it's just a Viewliner 1. And we are taking a trek to the back of the train. And there's the baggage car right there. As you can see, only crew members beyond this point.
So cool. I'll be, knock on my door when you get back, okay? Alright. Well, alright.
Where are the muffins?
Huh?
Where are the muffins?
I don't know, but, knock on my door.
Alright.
Oh, the muffins are right here.
Alright.
So at this point, we're in Waterloo, Indiana. Or, I'm sorry, we're approaching Waterloo, Indiana. And some pretty cool looking scenery. It's a big cloudy day today. As you can see, some of the snow did fall. We're actually going faster than a few cars. What's kind of cool, as you'll see in a little bit, is that the kiddos here in Indiana still have school. Of course, Massachusetts has April break and February break, versus like most of the other country has fall break. Excuse me, has March break. Correct me if I'm wrong. But as you'll see, we'll be pulling into Waterloo, and you'll see. I don't want to offend this kid, but my bus driver would get very irritated if she caught me doing this. You'll see here in a few seconds. Not in a few seconds, it's going to take a little while. So now we're starting to slow down for Waterloo. And I know it looks like it's sped up, but that's just because I needed to speed up the video. So I hope the audio doesn't go too over my voice right now. Let's see whatever your crossings. And if you'll hear the sound, the the tapping, that sound, that's actually just a flat spot in the wheel. So you can see where pulling to a stop. We're slowing down. And this is Waterloo, Indiana. I didn't think we were in Indiana yet, but turns out we are. So now this is normal speed. As you can see the school bus, coming up to the stop, and then you'll see a girl running off to get her stuff, which, again, if my bus driver saw me doing that, she would not be happy. What I find interesting is the stop signs. Well, for one, there's 2 of them, and that the rear, warning lights, I sped the video up again. The rear warning lights are not LED, so Plymouth District does have LED lights. You can see the kid that ran in from the right. So at this point, the bus has been there for like a minute or 2 now. And this kid, you'll see here in a sec, right in the middle of the screen. Yep, can you see him run? See him run? There he goes, scampering off. He's getting on the bus. I'm like, oh my god, this kid's interesting. Because again, if I was doing that, my bus driver would have just left. You can see the Waterloo sign left. So yeah, a little interesting there. So there's a nice little picture of the Waterloo train station. A few nice other pictures of the scenery. It was very interesting riding the train. It really was. I was quite impressed at the beautiful scenery. There's a hill, I guess.
I'm doing the oh, that's actually way more beautiful. But what do you expect my family to get that rich?
$500 of all trains.
Unless that was your money.
That was my money.
By the way,
Yeah?
get dressed.
No, hang on. What is this? A New York Central's passenger car? A New York Central E-unit? What is this? I have no idea what it is, but it's pretty dang cool, isn't it? 844? Question mark? Nah, it's not 844, but it sure is cool. It does kind of look like it. There's a view of the piston rods. And a Conrail caboose. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Joe, Yeah.
I don't know if you're buying most of the on that.
South Shoreline car.
So this South Shoreline car was actually not extended. Some of the South Shoreline cars, the old ones at least, had larger windows when they were extended.
Old switch. Looks like that's it.
So this is sped up to 4 times speed, 4 times normal speed. It was gonna keep the whole entire video in, but then I was like, you know what, maybe I won't. So I didn't. You can slow the video down if you want, but we're going through Norfolk Southern Yard right now. You can see, in maybe in a few seconds, if it goes by slow enough, there's an old Conrail gondola, I believe. Or no, it was a hopper car. There it is. You can see a few of the Norfolk Southern locomotives. This is about the end of the yard. I believe we... Yep, there we go. William Pye, another train. Now it's just epilepsy, so sorry. There's more Norfolk Southern locomotives. More epilepsy. So, sorry if you guys are epileptic. Look away. There, now it's not epileptic. Well, I don't know. So I know you guys are thinking, Joey, this is dangerous. You should not be encouraging this kind of activity. Well, it's for a good cause, trust me. By good cause, I mean it's just plain old fun. So there's the rail stream cam at Riley's Rail House in Chesterton, Indiana. So, and there's John on the stream. He's waving a rag out the window of Lakeshore Limited 449. So at this point, we actually are racing a CSX train. Just wait, you'll see the locomotives in a sec. I thought this was really cool, and I was like, almost like, I don't know. It was pretty funny. We're racing, or it wasn't a CSX, it was Canadian Pacific. So as you can see, it was moving. If you look at the rails versus the locomotive, you'll see it was moving.
I want to watch that.
And now at this point we are paralleling, and I believe not racing, but we could have been racing the Chicago South Shore and South Bend Railroad, also known as the South Shoreline. It's America's last interurban railroad. Now they did have there was a railroad called the Chicago North Shore in Milwaukee, the North Shoreline, although in 1963 that went under. So this is America's last interurban. You'll see in day 3 or part 3 of this series, you'll see me at Millennium Station looking at a few South Shoreline trains, and we'll actually see a few other things. That is a surprise I'm not going to tell you right now. Yeah. So this is pretty cool. It's so weird. It almost looks frozen in time because it looks like an old trolley line, but it looks like it shouldn't be there. That's not what I meant, but. And at this point, we're still paralleling the South Shoreline, and we actually. I'm sorry for the epileptic nonsense. I should put a warning in. There we go. So this is actually the point where they start double tracking, and they do plan on putting in double tracks throughout the entire time. As you can see, I'm sitting in my roomette with my dad.
Just sort of chillax there.
Not totally sure what I'm doing here.
It is Monday.
But the South Shoreline was actually bought by Samuel Insull back in the 1930s. I guess I'm just going to do a little history lesson right now. Not really sure what we're doing. Was bought by Samuel Insull along with the North Shore Line. And after the Great Depression, Samuel Insull was, I believe, let go of the railroads. Don't quote me on that, though. We'll walk through the cafe car. See Alex. Alex was very nice to us. Then we're going to take a few pictures and other videos of the South Shore Line. We never actually saw a South Shore Line train, but we did get some cool shots of the rails. It was pretty cool because, like, we're in Indiana, and it was so odd that there was, like, you know, pantographs and electric lines over railroad tracks. Of course, Amtrak can't put overhead wire out there because it's just not really profitable, and it's a lot of maintenance and a lot of money, so they don't do that. Here's a much better picture of the South Shore Line. You can see some of the new pantographs. You can see some of the new catenary wires.
Me neither.
See some of the old ones too.
They're the last
But that is the original right-of-way, the South Shore Line.
Their sister, the North Shore Line.
It's pretty cool, the fact that they've been around for, I believe, over 100 years. And the North Shore Line is tanked, along with the Chicago, Aurora, and Elgin, also known as the CA&E.
Do you know the time?
So like I said before, we never actually see a South Shore Line train, but we do get some pretty cool glimpses of their trackage.
I don't know what it is
And
about the North
the
Shore
fact
Line,
that
but I like it.
they're still around, and people still ride their train. Of course, now it's the Northern Indiana Commuter District. NICTD, I think. Northern Indiana Commuter. I don't know what it's called. Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District? NICTD? Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna trim the clip here in a sec. But soon enough, we'll be pulling into Chicago. And I believe at this point nope, not yet. We're going to be looking over the highway at the South Shore Line once again, this time just from a different perspective. Although I believe, nope, it's across the highway. That's I-90 right there. That goes all the way from Boston to Seattle. That's right. And I believe Gary, Indiana is where we're at right now. There's John. That's about it. And now we'll be pulling into Chicago in the next clip.
Oh, that's not meant to go down in there.
That's what she said.
Oh, shut up.
So, dirty jokes aside, we are passing over the Chicago
You can
Skyline.
fit 3 people in here comfortably.
Skyway.
Yeah. Are you comfortable?
Damn it, I
there?
forgot what it's called.
Yeah, Dad?
It's a beautiful looking bridge. It's nice and red. I believe it's like one of the only like privately owned highway parts
Tugboat.
of
Yeah.
the U.S. I don't
A
know.
narrowboat.
But there's some few tugboats.
For thought, keep your wallets in your
Tugboats,
in your front pockets.
Yeah.
Alright.
I didn't bring my wallet just in case.
Oh god, I'm tired.
I don't have
Editing
a wallet.
this video. It is.
Then keep your money and your
$5.
phones.
I'm gonna call my friend. Okay.
Those are some cool looking almost silos, I would say. And there's the this is beautiful bridge. We're actually in a roomette that wasn't used, so the place we're in on the train was not booked, which was kind of nice, so that we could just sit in there and just look at stuff. I'm gonna skip to the next clip. Wish I had a plug like down here.
Ooh, Joey, look, old track.
Oh,
area.
cool. Look at that's where our old bridge was.
Yeah. Freight is the business nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's shut the door so we can have a little bit of privacy.
Lock the door, shut the curtain.
Yeah.
Union Pacific.
69, 70, 69, 69. Yeah!
Eureka!
I'm 16.
Hi, 16. I'm Joey.
Oh my god. You?
Oh, look, CTA.
Huh?
Green Line.
Ooh, Jared. Oh, Jared, our first time seeing an elevated train.
Where's the
Right there.
Oh, we're gonna ride the green line today.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the red line.
Yeah, that's our first time seeing an L train. How about that, Jared?
Yeah. John, I got a question.
What?
What are those? Those Norfolk Southern BNSF.
Hey,
Let's
John.
see, what's that?
Look at that.
36, 55, 41, 55, 41, 26,
All dash 8.
76,
Ooh, that's a nice
52.
paint job on that BNSF one.
I got a question.
Okay.
I saw a BNFS train.
You mispronounce
BNFS.
every railroad you even think of.
Ooh, GTX. GATX. GTX, GMTX 2175. Union Pacific. 9010.
Okay.
Attention crew. Attention crew. Track 26 to east side unload toward the river. Track 26 east side unload.
There's, I think, Orange Line.
Wait, we're getting off on this side, right?
Yeah, Orange Line.
Derek, use your right hand. Right hand, Derek.
Hang on, I want to look out in the yards.
Now, if you're looking in that garage over there, the 184 is sitting in there, the Phase 4 Heritage Unit.
84. Wow.
Make sure that you have all of your belongings.
There's Charger.
For the ones that get need of a red cap,
90.
go ahead and bring all your
19,
belongings up the train
505,
with you and stand train
26.
sign. The red cap will be around to assist you into the station.
Yeah, 58.
For those of you who have
26.
checked baggage, please allow the baggage handlers about 15 to 20 minutes to take the bags off the train and into the baggage claim where you may claim your bags. Coming into Chicago Union Station in about 3 minutes. Thank you for choosing ambulance.
Oh, just 17. An old baggage car.
No problem. Excuse me.
Are you going to be unlocking the store?
Yeah, it's gonna be that.
Darn it.
Go ahead, darling. Go ahead and take it.
Alright. Never been on the train into Amtrak.
You haven't? Well,
No.
yeah, it's cool.
School. Other reasons as well.
Yeah, no, it's-
9200.
It's cool. Yeah. That's the train yard. That's where
Yeah.
we park our
Every
cars and everything over there in the train yard.
Yeah.
And,
816,
we just
134.
passed, oh, that's where they service the trains right there. In
Oh,
that
alright.
building
That's
right
cool.
there. Yeah. So
So as you see in a sec, actually there's an old baggage car right there. To your left of the screen is Ocean View. See it for one last time.
once this train goes back into the yard, they'll put it down into that building.
There's another lounge car.
So it would be nice if that window were
Now it
cleaned
turns
up.
out on our way home we actually saw Ocean View again, so on our way home was actually the last time we would see Ocean View. Now another thing is the Metro yards were to my left, and I couldn't see them. Or I was more wanted to look out of the right side to see the Amtrak yards. And if you did want to know, yes, that was me screaming. Air brakes scare me.
4613.
So those last two clips are actually sped up 2x speed. That's the Sears Tower right there. There's Quincy Station, or the northern end of it.
I thought it too.
On the point ground.
Yeah, and it's open.
So after dropping our bags off at the hotel, we hop on the L to go around the loop once and then go rail fanning at Canal Street. So this is new for me. Apparently there's a thing called a Venture card. And when I was there, at least 9 years ago when I was there, they had a CTA card, so they just had like cards that said CTA on them. And I believe I still have one. It expired in like 2012. But this is Adams and Wabash, one of the oldest stations that hasn't been revamped yet. So that's kind of cool. The North Shoreline actually stopped here back when the loop, or back when the North Shoreline was still around. They would stop at Adams and Wabash. And there used to be, no, never mind. I was going to say there used to be an Adams and Wells, but no, that's Quincy Station. So if you're curious, this is how you get the Venture card. Just turning away to keep privacy. There's a bunch of CTA maps behind John. And then in a sec, we'll be walking right in. This is how you do it. Just tap and you go. Kind of interesting how it transmits just wirelessly. And you'll see in a sec a green line.
So watch this. So do not get on this train, alright? We can go up above. Ready? Come here. Just come here. What?
We're actually going to get on a different train. Going northbound. We took the longest way possible around the loop. We went over the tracks, which I totally thought was the coolest thing ever.
This is so cool.
So this is one of the only stations you can actually walk across the L tracks. It's the Trump Tower in the background. That's the that's Tower 12, I believe. Junction 12. I forget, I haven't done mine in a while.
So he's gonna come
I don't know what I'm pointing at. I'm pointing.
Let's get on that train, go all the way around once,
Point.
and then hop on a green line, and then go around and then get on Harlem.
I don't know, but you'll hear it. I'm sure you can hear me. Oh, we wanted to catch that train, but we didn't realize the orange line went the other way around the loop.
Unless
And the fact that, like,
taking a right.
yeah, see, I'm like, oh, darn
We're
it.
gonna have to wait
So
for
we actually caught a brown line, I believe. I went up to Clark and Wells. We'll see that in a sec. Or at least in the next clip, which is in a few seconds. Boom.
Make him honk the horn.
So this is actually the 3400 series, and or is this? Yeah, this is the 3400 series, which I forget who built them, but we'll see other cars that are 5000 series built by Bombardier. I forget who the 2800 series are built by. I believe it was Bud. Here's the new Washington Wabash station, which replaced the Madison Wabash, and yeah, Madison and Wabash and Randolph and Wabash stations, which I find debatable. What I find odd is that right in front of you, that junction is Washington and Wabash, so really it's more like Madison. Or no. I forget which one's more north, if it's Randolph or Madison, I believe. So that's Washington, and it sits between... I forget, to be honest with you.
There used to be a station right here.
Then this was the old... I believe... I'm gonna bet that was Madison. The Randolph.
I don't know.
I don't even know. While I'm doing this, I'll look it up right now.
It's irritating is what it is. Never mind, that wasn't as loud as I thought it was going to be. Alright, why don't we get off at the next one?
Okay.
At least the Randolph was the northern one. Madison was the middle one.
So like after this
So,
one, then we can get on.
Washington and Wabash Station actually sits in between Madison Street. Oh, there's a 2800 series cars, which I believe are being phased out. And turns out that the CTA just ordered the 7000 series from a Chinese maker.
So we're just gonna go north.
Good who.
But we need to get the
So Washington and Wabash sits more on...
after this stop, right?
Yeah, after the
What
stop.
is this?
Pushing.
We're on Madison Street. The station actually crosses Madison. And it doesn't actually cross Washington, which I find interesting. And then there's no station on East Randolph. In fact, as I'm looking at the map, I can still see the Randolph Street station.
3401?
Yeah, that's our car.
Look for 3423. That's the background on my phone. Alright, so let's get off this one. Change, and then...
I'm sorry if you're getting bored. You can just keep skipping along until we get to Canal Street.
This is Clark and Lake.
So this is, I believe, another wooden station, which is also being phased out. And then we're crossing over the tracks. So I believe the
No, we do not want this one.
28. Or the,
We do not want the green line. This one's gonna go south.
those 5000 series cars. It was a green line train, which we did not want. We wanted a pink line.
Right, so not. Oh shoot. So not this one either. Not this one. We're gonna.
Trying to keep them connected for the time.
All right.
So here are a few 747s that we saw while rail fanning.
I don't even.
Here's me trying to take a video of the 5000 series purple lines leaving. See the water shaking just from the train. Thought that was kind of cool. I believe that's a pink line back there, because I know didn't take long for the pink line to arrive.
This is gonna go all the way around the loop, and then we're gonna get off.
So for the next, I believe, 9 minutes, this is just going to be us going around the loop, so you skip ahead 9 minutes if you don't want to go around the loop. So I'm just going to keep talking. So this is, I believe, State and Lake. My memory corrects me. But yeah, there's the North Shore line. Thought that was kind of funny. Now that I think about it, that was the wrong photo in the wrong place. That looked like the Lake Street bridge. And that old photo, I believe, was the Wells Street Bridge. Although I could be wrong. So this station serves the Orange Line, the purple line, the green line, and the brown line. Sorry.
This curve was
Trying to
always here.
sit
There
down.
wasn't ever a junction here.
I'm going to do this in one take, so if I mess up, I'm sorry. Sucks to be you. So back there was the Lake and Wabash turn, and they actually, back in 1977, there was a really bad accident where two train cars fell into the street and two others were dangling. So this is Randolph. See, we're slowing down to let the other trains, or to make sure the other train gets around the corner safely. And then this is Washington Street. They're crossing over right now. And then this is the Wabash Washington station, or Washington Wabash. I don't know. I liked Randolph Wabash, and I liked all the others. But you can see the water dripping off because in the last episode, if you didn't watch it, go check it out right now. Link will be in the description. You can see that it was actually snowing the day before. Here's a cool picture of the Bombardier little plaque that shows when it was built, 2011. So I believe this is a 4-car train. I believe we stayed on this. Yeah, this is a 4-car train, pink line, heading to 54th and Cermak. So what I find odd is the outer part of the loop only serves the brown line, I believe, if my memory corrects me right. And what I would find more easily for commuters if the pink line went around the other way, but I don't know. And here's the Adams and Wabash station, which is our station for our hotel. We were staying at the Palmer House. It was a pretty nice hotel. All the outlets were on their side, which I found very irritating. And I understand why, but it just still irritated me.
This is Adams and Wabash.
Or it was more just a nuisance. I thought in my head, I was like, why would you do this? This is just meant to irritate people. r/mildly infuriating. So I believe that's an orange line train in front of us. You'll see in day 3, the red line was actually diverted to go over the loop. They would get on the elevated in Roosevelt and then just head up to Howard, which is kind of good that they have access to the elevated at Roosevelt for incidents like someone riding on the top of the train, which is exactly why they did that. Don't ride on the top of the train, kids. You'll also see in the later in this video is I'll narrate this part, but I don't show any signs. The only thing I do is I think I just coughed, but a dude right next to me was rolling a joint. I kid you not. I looked over and this was rolling a joint.
There we go. Now we got it.
The reason I knew he was rolling a joint is because it looked like weed. It's the first time I've ever seen someone roll a joint. So, and then I believe I think this is either Tower 8 or Tower 12. Or Junction 12. So this was not a station at one point. It does look like there are platforms there, but that was actually not a station. And I'm not totally sure why the tracks curve to the left a little bit. I don't know why. I have a few reasons why, but I doubt it's those. Now we wait here, and I forget why. The train up there was stopped for a little while. There's a nice view of the third rail pickup shoe. It's pretty cool. I was trying to get that on camera if it started to move. It didn't, so. If you ever hear a fan in the background, that's actually my Mac. In fact, listen to it. That's my Mac. Because I'm editing on my MacBook Pro. If you haven't seen videos of it, I actually haven't talked about it a lot, so at this point the video is 40 minutes long, and it's probably going to be a very long video. Already knew at the point. I should have probably made those 2 parts, so the Lakeshore Limited probably should have been part 1 of day 2, and then
Don't know what the holdup is.
this part, the Canal Street rail fanning, probably should have been part 2 of day 2, but too late now. Leave in the comments below if you think I should have just made these 2 parts, which, I'll be honest, I might probably somehow try to do.
There we go.
And we're waiting. Probably should have cut that part out, but whatever. Too late now. Now we're waiting for clearance of the track. This is the Van Buren and State, Washington Public, Washington there. I don't know. It's some sort of public library. I really don't know. Probably should have sped this up, to be honest with you. But I don't want to re-narrate this whole thing, so just stick with me. It's now 6 o'clock. My dad's gonna call me down in a few
I'm not totally sure
minutes because he sent me a text and said he's making pasta. I'm gonna respond to him right now. This station was actually non-existent for a little while. In 1973 they tore it down, but so I forget how long it was there without how long this location was here without a CTA station, but it wasn't too long, because then they made this station.
There's a bunch of like, there's like a watchtower, I think, and like a bunch of like, which barbed wire fences. The building with like the.
Oh yeah, that is a pretty.
Creepy.
Yeah, the barbed wire and everything right there.
You gotta look at the roof here.
That is.
Sure it is.
You know the game Watch Dogs or whatever?
Yeah.
They have this cat area in it.
Yeah.
Transfer to Metro Trains at LaSalle and Van Buren.
It's a correctional center.
There's a correctional facility.
Yeah, you're right.
This station is also extremely old. It's another wood station. This has also been around since the Chicago Roar and Elgin days, I think. I don't know.
Only like not that old. Wire metric.
Then up here, I forget what junction this was. So I should know this. I would spend hours a day looking at old CTA maps. I forget. I might put it in a little while. In fact, you know what? I might stop the video and just say, "Oh, it was actually this."
So right up here, this turn there used to be a junction. This used to keep going straight.
You'll hear me actually in a few seconds talk about it.
Why did it not?
Because eventually I-280 was built. I can actually still see how the tracks used to keep going. And then there used to be the terminal. Yep, look at that. So sorry. Right here there used to be a terminal. See those markings?
Yeah.
This used to be a big, like, Wall Street terminal, so it's called.
So as, I don't know if you guys heard, but I was talking about the Wall Street Junction,
It's called Wall Street Terminal.
or the Wall Street Terminal, which is where the Chicago Roar and Elgin terminated
Like it.
their trains, apart from going around the loop, which they believe they occasionally did, but not often. And then this is Quincy Station, which is, I believe, one of the oldest, made in 1896, I were to guess. I forget, I looked it up not too long ago. The oldest is 1892, I believe, on the Green Line somewhere. I believe at this point the outer loop is only served by the Brown Line.
Canal Street, which is
Yeah, I believe it was Brown Line.
And through the woods to grandmother's house we go.
And so I'm not totally sure where Madison Street is, but there used to be a Madison and Wells. That was torn down quite a long time ago. And then, oh, okay. There was another 747 that we saw. I'm not totally sure why I stopped the video there, but I did.
This is a pink line train to 54th and Cermak.
Now we're waiting for clearance. This is the... What station is this? Washington and Wells.
Yeah, it's the next station.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doors closing.
Doors closing.
Wait, that car stop right up ahead.
No, that's not a stop.
And then the old Randolph and
That's,
Wells
where the electrical
station was
stuff that used to be a station, actually.
up here. You'll actually see some of the old platform. You'll hear me talk about it, I think.
Is next.
Leo.
In the direction of travel, doors open
Taking a
on the
pink
right.
line through.
Transfer to metro trains at Clinton. Priority seating is intended for the elderly and passengers with
Sorry.
disabilities. Your cooperation.
So we'll be taking a left at Tower 18.
Familiarize yourself with the train communication and evacuation
Great.
procedures.
Okay, this is 47 minutes long.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have time.
So there used to be a station right here, and it extended all the way out to Tower 18, but this is what remains of it.
It's just a maintenance hub.
It's mostly a maintenance hub, but it did used to be a station. Maybe not that part, but this part definitely. So now we have to wait. You see the track? Switch points. Now we got a white. No,
So I'm pretty sure I just talked about it.
that means.
You can see actually to the right the old wooden platforms to it. Another thing that's kind of cool, this terminal, this is Tower 18, or Junction 18, if you like to call it. There's the tower right there. Was completely different back in the 60s and I think parts of the 70s. There we go. Okay, left. Now we're heading west on Lake Street.
Interesting noises.
I now call the 5,000
We're climbing up a bit to go over the Lake Street Bridge, going over the Chicago River.
It's not just a bridge.
This is the bridge that goes over the.
Now, one thing I find interesting, and I think I talked about in the video, this little siding. I don't know what it was for. If I look at all the pictures,
This is a drawbridge. I don't know why this little turnoff is right here. Maybe for like maintenance vehicles, but I assume so.
if I look at all the pictures in the of the old Lake and Wells Street bridges over the Chicago River, those sidings were there. There never used to be a third track there. It still kind of baffles me why it's there.
Over there, it's gone now.
I might actually,
The North Shoreline Bridge is over there. See where that L is over there?
Yeah.
That's the North Shoreline Bridge. Well, I mean, it was
So
originally
now
CDA,
Lake
but
Street is
it's
actually
just
going
coming
under, just actually going lower so that we can go over the, whatchamacallit, the
Joey, you're the leader, okay? We get lost.
Orville,
Alright,
Logville
Never mind.
Transportation Center. I don't know, one of the
That's
transportation
Chicago.
terminals in Chicago.
The doubleheader.
One of, I think, like 5.
Alright.
We got this one,
172.
Union Station,
Like that does look like
and Millennium Station.
I mean, like
in LaSalle.
The Chicago that you can go over Street.
And here's Clinton, and this is our stop.
This is our stop.
Now, there's a nice picture of the Clinton station. And as you see, this is where the Canal Street is. In case...
Train.
Oh, and another one.
God damn it, I'm not gonna be in time. Come on.
Move quickly or...
Nope. I'm screwed in the wrong way. I'm gonna miss this one. That way.
Move quickly or... He's got a red light. Oh no, now he's got a yellow. That's one of the original F40s.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that was really freaking loud. Sorry. You can see even John's plugging his ears. So after this, I feel kind of bad about this. We were going to go to the Field Museum and the Science and Industry Museum, I think. I don't know. But my dad and me we really didn't want to. Oh, look at the top of the bridge. You can see all the soot from the trains. That's kind of cool. I didn't notice that. Wow. Yeah. So that's about it for,
It's going this way.
Real Fanning? No, never mind. There's another train coming. So yeah, Canal Street is really busy. Let's see John coming up to me to talk to me about something. I don't know. That right there, his name is Priority. John met him on Discord. Oh yeah, see there's another train coming. I believe this might be the last train. Nope, not the last train. Nope, 2 more trains.
I know you'd rather take it only half an hour.
Right. Okay. It's the blue line below us.
You're only going to this one, right? I'm going to another museum tomorrow.
So in the middle of the roadway right there, you probably weren't able to see, but there were old, I almost want to say footings for the old elevated. I mean, it's not there anymore, but this curve before it was here, it used to continue straight and then take a hard right, and then a hard left, to continue into this alleyway right here. Of course, that is gone. CTA possibly bought that land, although it could be wrong, and basically made a much more smoother turn. Right here, there are people in the, working on the tracks, so we're stopped.
Your attention, please.
We'll continue shortly.
Because crews are working on the track ahead. We expect to be moving
Are
shortly.
you kidding me?
There's some, yeah, there is a dude on the track.
Oh, the crew, let's just be on that.
Just run you down.
said she's got some cool hair. It's not really an express, because if it was an express, then we would stop there.
So it was at this point that I realized that there was a man rolling a joint right next to me. Welcome to Chicago. Definitely learned a few things. First time I've ever seen someone roll a joint. It was interesting. It looked like wood chips. Yeah, it was right here where I'm like turning around but trying to make it obvious that I'm looking. So I was like trying to make sure I wasn't going insane. Yeah, see, I'm not even focused on the outside. It was interesting. I was like, you know, I mean, he's got some balls to do that in front of everyone. Which I was like, huh, okay. I think in a little while here, I like cough, eventually the smell gets to me. Yeah, third 7-4 today.
Diggity damn, that's...
Well, I was going to say cool, but apparently I didn't. So that's an old building right next to the Cub Stadium. That's an angled view of where the CTA freight used to go. That's my new Cubs hat. This is a view from Addison Station looking north. There's an old pantograph, or oh my god, catenary post. Here's a Bombardier plaque. Those are signs that show where the train should stop. And this is the video of the yellow line. Skokie Swift. I had to keep these videos pretty darn short because my phone was, at this point it was at like 8%. I don't know, but it was almost dead and I needed a plug really soon. I needed to charge it really soon. There's a view of the 2800 series. If you don't know already, the yellow line Skokie Swift is the old right-of-way for the Chicago, North Shore, and Milwaukee Railroad. Of course, that went down under in 1963. There's another view of the North Shore line. After the North Shore line went bankrupt and ceased operation, CTA about a year later, in April of 1964, purchased this portion of the North Shore line and continues to operate it today. Now this portion used to have third rail and pantograph and was the second, was the only of, or I'm sorry, only 2 of the subways in America do that now. Now only 1 does, and coincidentally enough, it's the MBTA Blue Line. Although this one would change on the fly. The Blue Line stops at an airport and changes from third rail to pantograph. Though they had it here because they had road crossings. The MBTA Blue Line does not. Although so much of it is pantograph, they might as well keep it. So this is a view of the 6000 series and the 150 series, built from old PCC streetcar parts, and these are owned by the Illinois Rail Museum. Not sure what they're doing here.
And then another cool thing, right here, you see where the overhead is? Yeah. That's part of the old North Shore line. So, right here used to be Kenzie, I think. This is Congress. I don't know. But that's part of the old station as well. And it was Crawford, that was it. But this all used to be electric. In 2003, no, 2004, they removed the overhead and put in third rail. But this is all from the North Shore line. That's so cool.
Doors open on the right at Dempster, Skokie. Soliciting and gambling are prohibited on CTA.
So the reason the overhead catenary is like this design, how there's 2 poles and then they jut out, is that there used to be a station right here. It was a station called Main, for Main Street. And it was owned by the CTA, not the North Shore line, because CTA did operate while the North Shore line was around. Back in 1925, they opened the Skokie Swift in 1925, which was the old Chicago, North Shore, Milwaukee Railroad Skokie Valley route, and they opened their own line going to Dempster Street. And I'm looking for an old tower because there used to be a junction that was torn down in like 2004 that was there to control the North Shore line and the CTA, or the CRT, Chicago Rapid Transit. And believe if I'm looking forward in the camera, wrong way, there we go. The North Shore line, we're on the old North Shore line right away. The CTA used to go to the right. Now, obviously they don't anymore, but when they did, they would basically stop at Dempster Street. Now, Oakton Skokie was there, but was torn down completely and is now back again. And then Main Street was also torn down. You can see the pantograph, or the catenary system. I keep saying pantograph. The catenary system has started to degrade and start to be torn down. Now, this is the old. This station was not here when North Shore Line was here. This is all new. Now, I don't know if I look. Yes, I do. So you'll see the old Dempster-Skokie station that was owned by the North Shore Line and the Chicago Rapid Transit CRT. Now, like I said again, this would extend north on the Skokie Valley Route on the Chicago North Shore and Milwaukee Railroad. However, it does not anymore. That platform over there is from the North Shore Line.
Rail Museum's old heritage fleet is here. And I don't know why. You see that old red, white, and blue, and then that weird green one? Yeah. That's from the Illinois. A bunch of them are. What are they doing here?
So as you saw at Sheridan Station, the island platforms were pretty darn small, and same for this. This is the old Halsted Street Station, which was around the CTA, although I believe was dismantled, I'm going to guess in 1973, when they took a bunch of stations on the old route out of service. Now, you could see how there used to be a track on the left and right of me, or of the camera, right there as you're looking at it right now. Some of it has been torn down because there's no use for it anymore. But that was there with the North Shore Line. The North Shore Line would be on the center tracks, and then the express. Yeah, the center tracks would be the express route, and then the outer tracks would be the local route. Obviously, that's not the case today because there's no need for the express trains. Even though the Purple Line is supposedly an express, it's not. You'll see in a sec, I believe. You can see old Skokie Swift cars, pantograph top right there. Yep, right there, right there, right there. I thought that was pretty cool. And here's the junction where all four tracks merged into two. Now, if you took a quick glimpse back there, you could see how the old track would just sort of squish, squoosh into it. And we are approaching the end of this episode. So I hope you stuck around with me, and I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, there's another Skokie Swift car. You can see where the pantographs would hook onto the top of the car. And there's a nice picture of the 2400 series in the middle. Nope, that's not the 2400 series. The 6000 series on the left. That's the 2400 series poking out.
69! Number tags, number tags, number tags, number tags, number tags, number tags, number tags. Yeah!